Hooters.
Hey guys, welcome to another live episode from our headquarters in Colorado. And I have MrTruck here.
Yes, MrTruck.com.
Yeah, thanks for coming, dude.
Yes, I'm here.
Well, today's show is all about your truck questions, and we have lots of them. You guys been asking us,
Yeah.
flooding us with questions, which we love.
Long question.
Long questions, and we love long questions because the more detail you provide, the better we can answer.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Give us axle ratios, give us engine size, whatever
Yeah.
you're looking at. Give us all the details you can, because it makes it easier for us to be accurate on an answer.
And this is a regular scheduled live show. We do these Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Not always with MrTruck.
No.
Although I wish they were all with you.
No.
But at the end of the show, as always, when we do this at the office, we're gonna give away a T-shirt, a TFL car and truck, and the truck logo is bigger.
Right, and these aren't your old shirts, right? These are new ones?
No, these are
Okay.
brand new shirts, and these go out to our Patreon supporters. You can always support us at patreon.com/TFLcar. So we're gonna do that at the end of the show, and keep your comments and questions coming. We're gonna do a couple of prepared questions here.
Yeah, that was somebody else asked.
Yeah, somebody else asked on email, and you could send your questions in at ask@tfltruck.com, and we'll discuss them and put them in future shows as well. And but during the live show, you can ask questions, and in about 10 or 15 minutes, we'll get to those.
Yeah, or if you know any good jokes, let us know.
Yeah, tell us some jokes as well. And behind us is our Big Green TFL Trucks project.
Oh, you mean Cheater Big Green?
No, it's Big Green Chevy.
Big Green Chevy.
Why do you call it Cheater?
Because every week Roman throws some more stuff onto it. My goodness, it's going to have a rocket engine next.
Yes. Well, we'll have fuel injection, but we'll show you that at the end of the show. Let's get to the question. So we keep getting this question over and over again, so I had to put it in here.
Okay.
And the guys are asking, what's going on with the brand new EcoDiesel from Ram? Any updates? You know, people have ordered these trucks a long time ago.
Yeah.
The dealers are not talking about it. What's the deal? Do you have any? I mean,
Well, there's no.
what have
new,
you heard?
There's no new news, but you know, it's like when Volkswagen went through this. Everybody thought it was going to bring them down. It didn't. They paid their $60 billion and went on. And that's how I think it's going to be the same thing. I mean, once they figure out how it's going to work out monetarily, they'll pay it and they'll be done with it. I don't think it's going to bring them down. I mean, that's the rumors I keep hearing. Oh yeah, Chrysler's collapsing. All that. No, they have good cash flow. I mean, they're selling trucks like crazy. It's just a bump in the road. I mean, they'll figure it out. They'll make the deal, and it'll be over. So I wouldn't read too much into it. That's how rumors are. They kind of just go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I think they'll survive this.
Well, yeah. So there's no timeline available right now because you guys are asking when can I buy an EcoDiesel. There is no timeline available right now. It's getting a little bit messier.
Yeah.
So the researchers that have tested the VWs has also now tested the Ram in the real world, and those same researchers are saying that the Rams are polluting above the limit, and this is all related to that legal case, and the legal case is being moved into California court.
Yeah.
So it's getting a little bit messy. No resolution quite yet. So
And this will make
unfortunately.
future diesels better off. Like Ford's coming out with diesel next year.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're going to watch things very carefully.
Yes.
So I think this is going to be a problem that'll be over, and everybody will start doing the rules, and it's interesting to see it progress. But
Yep. And so the next question that I wanted to bring up
yes.
is came from and I don't know how to pronounce this name, so I'm gonna say Mr. Harvold asked this question, and his question was specific to gooseneck and fifth wheel trailers. What are the differences between them, and what are the benefits of each?
Yeah, and there's another question coming later on. We were talking about that, about the V-nose and such. But fifth wheel, you know, the history of that, a real quick summary of that is, you know, it's the retired folks have had the fifth wheels. I mean, a lot of people buy them, but I mean, that's been the biggest market. And they like the safety of how semis are. So their fifth wheel is kind of fashioned after that, the way they connect and all that. Even though they're a loose connection, semis are a tight connection, balls are a tight connection. So that's kind of where the fifth wheel, mini fifth wheel came from. On the gooseneck side, you know, I mean, it was always been a rancher farmer thing where they don't need a whole giant fifth wheel sitting in their bed. They use their beds for other things, so they need a ball that they can flip over or take out or whatever. But the thing about a ball is it's like your shoulder socket. It's a ball and socket, and it's tight. So, you know, the ranchers and farmers, they can be out chasing coyotes or whatever, pulling their trailers through dips and pastures and have a nice tight connection and swivels. Where a fifth wheel has actually only been able to tip left and right in the last, say, 5 years. Before that, they just went forward and back.
Okay.
But they figured out that, you go through some of these dips and some of the gas stations and such, you need more movement. So now your fifth wheels move all 4 ways. So that helps, but there's still a loose connection. You drive next to one going down the road, you'll see them chucking back and forth because they are a little bit of a loose connection, and that's annoying. And, I like the idea of a ball much better. And if you look at your ratings on your trucks that come out from everybody, I mean, now we got Ram over 30,000, Ford over 30,000. They'll do that on a gooseneck, but they do like 26,000 on a Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
So truck manufacturers agree with me that the ball is a stronger connection than the little mini fifth wheel, the mini Kingpin. So that's how that is.
So do you see the RV? So a lot of the RV trailers are fifth wheel trailers.
Right.
And
right.
a lot of utility trailers, like our Big Tex trailer, our gooseneck.
Yeah.
Do you see the RV industry moving towards gooseneck, or is that completely different?
Well, then that's another good point too. Like the Big Tex flatbed, that's a commercial trailer, so the commercial guys understand how strong a gooseneck is. And yes, I mean there is. I just did something with another website about comparing fifth wheels and goosenecks, and gooseneck adapters are increasing in sales every year, and more of them are coming out. So you have more choices because other people understand that they're going away from the Kingpin, going to a gooseneck for several reasons. And it's a thing about safety change too. You only have to use safety change with a gooseneck, and that's because the horse people and those guys don't have lobbyists, so they didn't make any laws. But the fifth wheel and the semi guys, they have a lot of lobbyists.
Okay.
The RV industry and the commercial semis, so they don't have safety chains. So it's not about safety; it's all about who's got the money and who's got the lobbyists and all that. So, but anyway, yeah, I see that is, and there's actually some fifth wheels coming out that already come with the optional gooseneck from the factory,
Okay.
which is new. I've seen some of those. Lippert company that makes most of the frames, they have a system like that. So you're going to see it going that way, and some of them are getting to be a taller adapter, so they hook up like a fifth wheel, so what you're used to. But yeah, to me, the gooseneck is the best way to go. But that's my opinion.
So bottom line, goosenecks, you can carry more weight, and it has a higher rating, especially on the 3-inch ball, right?
Yeah, the new 3-inch that they use in Australia
yeah.
for the last 20 years. But yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. I hope that answers your question. Before we move on to another question, you're holding our book. And last week we had a book signing near Denver, Colorado. And I had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. We had an open mic kind of thing. Wish we would have videoed it so we show everybody.
Yes.
Because we were telling lots of jokes. It was fun. Yeah, that's great. It's great to meet some of the people there that are the fans of the show and watch the videos.
And fans of the book as well.
Yes, and they all bought. Every couple there bought a book, so it was
That's
good.
nice.
It was fun.
Yeah, and you can
We sang songs.
We have a lot of these questions and answers in this book.
That's right. That's why I wrote the
Yeah.
book, because there are a lot of questions that you won't find answers to anywhere on the internet or anywhere else. I mean, you go to a manufacturer's website, it's hard to decipher through that to find out what configuration of truck you need for what trailer. And we talk about trailers, we talk about, safety, we talk about all the tests you've done,
Yeah.
bike gauntlets. So no, it's good material, the truck nuts. And
Yes.
it's selling well, number one on Amazon. It goes off and on most of the time. For last year, we've been number one on the guide section.
Yes.
And that's what it is. It's a guide for trucks.
Yep, and you can find the book at trucknutsbook.com. So
Yes.
we really appreciate you guys' support, as always. Do we have any questions coming in already? And I have Michael here off camera who is monitoring the chat room.
We do. Joseph Tuggle wants to know, they have a 2003 Xterra 4x4 with the 3.3 liter engine. They're wondering what trailer hitch class you recommend. They're going to use the trailer hitch for light hauling, engines, and other tools.
Xterra.
Well,
well,
that's Xterra.
yeah, I don't know if they come with a class 2, and class 3 is ideal. That's a 2-inch receiver. I mean, if he's hauling more than bicycles, if you're actually hauling a trailer, you want it to be rated for what the trailer is.
Or you actually have more safety. So a class 3 hitch is usually around, 5,000 pounds?
Yeah.
So
Easily 5,000.
and Xterra, I think maxes out at 5,000 pounds, and I wouldn't recommend actually towing 5,000 with an Xterra,
Yeah,
especially
Xterra's
at
a little
high
short.
elevation.
Yeah, and you
It's
want
short wheelbase.
Right, and I don't know if that has a transmission gauge on temperature-wise, but that's what you want to watch. That was an automatic transmission?
They didn't say.
Didn't say. But manual, it's not going to be a big deal. But on automatic, you want to be able to monitor that. Might even put an aftermarket transmission cooler on it. That's the biggest problem with towing, is what it does to your transmission.
And as soon as you go heavy weights, as soon as you go about 3,500 pounds, you have to
Yeah.
have brakes
Right, on your trailer.
on the trailer,
That's right.
and it helps to have a brake controller, and you would have to get a kind of an aftermarket add-on.
Right, and if you're over
For that.
5,000 pounds, and it's a weight distributing hitch you're required to have.
Yep.
be safe.
All right. Nick Shipley wants to know, out of all the big three, which one is the best on fuel economy for gas engines on heavy-duty trucks, in your opinion?
That's a great question.
And it
because,
changes every model year. So
Because, yeah.
yeah, Dodge ruled back in the 90s. Their Cummins had the best one, that two
No,
valve.
but the gas engines.
Oh, was that gas?
Is that
engine?
gas engines?
Oh, they all suck. They
Yes, they're not very good in heavy-duty trucks
Yeah.
because when you load them up to the maximum, they're working very, very
right.
hard.
They're at wide open throttle. They're at RPM, at 5,000 RPM, and that's the problem when you're running that fast. That's where the diesel helps, because the diesel runs at slower RPMs and uses less fuel. So that's tricky. Off the top of my head, I remember the 6.2 GMs with that 8-speed. We're talking on gone 3 and 4 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular.
Yeah,
And it all depends on how big your hills are.
absolutely. And we've recently tested a 6-liter in a Chevy,
Yeah.
6.4-liter Heavy in the Ram, and I'm really hoping, and I think this truck is coming, within the next 2 weeks. The 6.2-liter V8 gas engine in the Ford. Whoops. So we do have the data. We'll be doing a lot more testing, and the gas engines do a lot worse in our iGauntlet. Probably 30% worse,
And it's all
or
about
40% worse.
what you're towing. If you're towing at maximum capacity, you're going to get bad fuel mileage. If you're towing half of that, of course, it will improve. And see, we do crazy stuff. 11,000 feet, 7% grades.
Over 12,000
Yeah, if you're
pounds.
driving in Kansas, you're going to get twice or 3 times more than what we're getting. So,
But they're about the same, and the recent testing that we did was a super iGauntlet, which means that we maxed out the trucks.
Sure, yeah.
And we're using different trailers, so unfortunately on a super ike, we can't directly compare. But like we said, over the years, a gas engine, when maxed out, is a lot worse fuel economy.
yeah.
Is there any other questions, or can we do some more? Okay.
Do you want? You can
Yeah.
keep going if you want to.
No, go ahead.
No, we want those questions.
Joe Yell asks, they have a 2011 F350 with the 6.7 Power Stroke. They want to know how it's going to be as a tow rig for their unlimited Rubicon, and what kind of fuel mileage they should be expecting unloaded.
So they're towing a Jeep
Yeah.
with a Power Stroke? That sounds like a pretty easy job for the Power Stroke.
Yeah, that'll be. What year of Power Stroke is it?
2011.
2011. Okay, 2011.
Is that the twin turbo?
No. That's probably the first year of the 6.7. That's the one that their exhaust brakes didn't work well through 2014. So yeah, you got no. I mean, you'll fly with that engine. I mean, that's
A lot of torque, a lot of power.
Yeah.
What a Jeep Rubicon, if you have it fully outfitted, a little bit over 5,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Your trailer might weigh 3,000 pounds.
Was that what he's putting on a trailer?
He didn't say.
Yeah.
So let's say you're under 9,000 pounds, and that Power Stroke will handle that weight all day long.
Right. A 2011 had a smaller turbo than what 2015 did, so it gets a little better fuel mileage for that year. So yeah, that's nothing for that. I mean, that's a truck that's designed to, a bumper pull like 16,000 or some crazy number. So yeah, it's
Yeah, no problem. So it's always good to have a truck, if you can afford it, that's rated way more than what you're towing.
yeah. Have a
Because you have stability, right?
room of air. Yeah, and that's good, and that's for heating and all those things. It's nice to be overbuilt.
Yep.
A transmission like that. Yeah.
Fuel economy unloaded. Any idea?
Unloaded.
Yeah.
Unloaded fuel economy. So I don't know about that particular year, the 2014. We
Well, that's
just
11.
11.
Oh, 2011. Yeah, I don't know about that particular year, but we just had a 2017, with a massive torque rating, 925 pound-feet of torque. And around town and on the highway, combined number was around 16.5 mpg.
Right.
Unloaded.
Yeah.
So you can be around between 16 and 17 unloaded. An older truck might do a little bit better.
Yeah.
Smaller turbo.
Right. I think the new ones have a 35 millimeter. That's what they call it. And I think that year had a 32. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have a great exhaust brake, but it did get a little better fuel mileage. So yeah.
Yep.
And then let's do one more question before we move on. It's about the EcoDiesel. Dan has a 2016. They're wondering if there will be any recalls, and do we think that the EcoDiesel will be available in future years?
That's a good question, because I know people with the Volkswagen and the Passats and all that, friends of mine, and that's what their big worry was they were getting a settlement, or should they take a warranty, or what should they do? And that's going to take some research because we don't know what RAM or
Well, we don't know what the settlement
yeah,
is.
we don't know what the settlement is or what they're going to be offering. But
Yeah.
that'd be a good thing to start researching now, trying to get your ideas on what you would take. I mean, you look up what the Volkswagen has done, and that might give you a hint into the future and try to decide what are those options that would fit for you, because that's a good question.
Yeah, and diesels and trucks go together better, for towing and carrying heavy loads than cars and diesels.
Yeah.
Cars and diesels is a little bit different story. They're very high, fuel efficiency numbers.
They're very good.
And with trucks, we see. Do you think diesels will continue in trucks, especially half tons?
Well, they
I mean,
better.
Ford is
That's
coming out with
That's
it.
a very fast growing segment. I mean, you look at all the people that do it for recreation with their diesel, they soup them up. So now you're going to have diesels in trucks as long as there's apple pie.
And an American flag.
Yes.
So diesels and trucks will continue, I think, they're also coming out with hybrid trucks. They're talking about hybrid powertrains.
That's true. It's hard to predict the future because hybrids and electrics and Tesla. And I mean, there's a lot coming. It's going to be an interesting time to be young in the truck industry because you're going to see so many changes.
Yeah. Anything else?
There's a few more questions.
Okay, yeah, let's
Sure,
keep them coming
sure.
because this is all about the live show, so we
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
good.
Dougie Doo asks, are all truck manufacturers going to start to implement StartStop technology like the F-150?
Is
I
Dougie
think
Dewey
so.
his real name? I want to know his real name. Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
So part of it is the start-stop is you have to have your engine and transmission working together,
Yes.
and as well as the alternator and all the components to actually provide a smooth experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think about the 2017 Fords?
Well, if they have a button, I shut them off because a lot of them do have a button to shut off that system. I mean, I've got a hybrid that does that on its own, and I'm used to it, but it gets to be annoying. And I don't know. I guess is there studies that tells us how much that saves? I mean, a Ford's pushing it big time, but I mean, it's even in the Raptor. I mean, but does that give us 1 mile to the gallon? Does it give a half?
I don't
mile
think
to
it's
the
that
gallon?
much. I think it's
So
under one.
It's more of a publicity thing, I think.
Well, we haven't really
they're
done
trying.
our own data. I mean,
Yeah,
it's hard to do this test because you have to get a lot of miles
Yeah, we
and a
should
lot of time doing this
We should do that
experiment.
because I would like to know, but I doubt if you're getting a half mile a gallon improvement on it. It all depends on if you're driving in the city all day long. It might be something different.
And the
But-
computer is getting very smart, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
it shuts it off if there's not a lot of energy being drawn
Yeah,
from the truck. Like maybe you have a stereo blaring, or your massaging seats are on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
all kinds of stuff. Maybe it's 100 degrees outside, and you have your AC running on high. But I think Ford is getting better with this.
Oh, yeah.
Their 10-speed automatic transmission is designed actually to be
Yeah.
able to do that.
Yeah.
And also their engines are getting better at this. So
Yeah,
I see that trend continuing.
Yeah, and some of the tow haul modes shut it off, so
Yes.
it doesn't have to be annoying.
Yeah.
And someday we'll be used to it, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
Would you guys go for a new EcoBoost F-150 or the 5-liter V8? Do you feel like the EcoBoost is as reliable as the 5.0? They're looking for reliability and MPGs.
What everybody loves is the 5.0 sound. I mean, that's one thing EcoBoost doesn't have.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, the V8s are hard to beat, but I mean, there's an EcoBoost has been out a long time. I mean, Ford's put it in their most expensive race car. They put it in everything they can find. So they apparently believe in it, but I don't know. I mean, it's like anything. You'll hear rumors about turbos and about coking, and some of the things they did with this new one where it has dual injection is to eliminate some of the problems that their mechanics have addressed. So I think it keeps getting better, but I mean, I would buy one. Of course, I'm up here in the Rockies. The twin turbos is a big deal up here in the Rockies. I mean, I've raced these trucks all over the place, with other folks, and at sea level, the 6.2 GM will kick everybody's butt. Up here, the Ford's EcoBoost kicks everybody's butt. So there you go. It kind of depends on where you live, but I'm a fan of the EcoBoost.
I'm also a fan of the 5-liter Coyote. I mean, we've tested both in the recent years.
Yeah.
In 2016, 5-liter did really well. It won our half-ton category on the iGauntlet. And then, of course, the EcoBoost won the following year.
I like it. I actually liked it better a year ago. Now I'm kind of leaning toward EcoBoost, but yeah.
I think I'm going the other way.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't know. And they just came out with new specs for 2018s.
Yeah.
So they're boosting a little bit of power on the 5-liter, which is great to see. 395 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. there was some confusion about between the Ford.com numbers and the numbers that were in the press release. Finally, it's resolved.
Well,
Ford.com
I don't like to be confused.
got fixed. I think you also save a little bit of money when you're going with the V8.
That's true.
Because the 3.5, the big EcoBoost, is about $1,500 to $2,000 more. So you're
Yeah.
saving a little bit of money.
That's true. Why don't they just turbocharge the 5-liter, man? Let's
Yes.
put a turbo on Eco and the Coyote.
Yes, let's do it.
We'll be able to smoke all the time.
Okay.
Patrick wants to know if bigger sway bars can help for towing to control the trailer shake sound. And is the corner speed higher or lower with bigger sway bars if everything else is stock?
Well, the sway bar in the front's pretty big, and so many camper packages come with the rear anti-sway bar, and you really need them for a big camper. Side wind movement. I think all trucks need rear anti-sway bars, but it doesn't work out that way. And a big one helping. If you look at the guys in the camping industry, or even Class C mobile homes, they have big sway bars. It's a big deal, keeping the back end planted, and I'm a big fan of them. So it'll help your side wind from the wind. It'll help your cornering. It's a good deal. I mean, it's something
But
that's
also,
overlooked a lot.
if you're talking about noise and sway control, I mean, first of all, the hitches are very important, right? You have to have a heavy-duty hitch or the hitch that's rated for the trailer you're towing. Also, sway control, weight distributing hitches help.
Right. Yeah, and if they get noisy, that's because they're doing their job. That's what they do. It's friction. They're sliding through their piece, the L shape or whatever they're doing, like we do with our Gen Y hitches. So it all depends which kind it is. Some of them are super quiet, but the majority of them, friction creates noise.
Does it help to
corners.
like lube them up, or how
Yeah,
do you-
there is a way of doing it, and some of them are 4-point sway control, some are 2-point sway control, so you can grease them. I don't. I mean, the sun doesn't bother me, but if it does, you can certainly grease them.
Okay.
Wherever there's
What
friction.
time do we have, Michael?
It's 10:23.
Okay, so we're kind of approaching the end of the half an hour because we usually try to keep them these shows to about 30 minutes. Do we have a final question maybe that you can see there?
Joseph just asked, how much longer do you think until we see a twin-turbo Pentastar V6 in the Ram?
Well, we know that they're coming out with a 2019 model. They're redesigning the Ram truck. All out of the lawsuits pending. Because obviously they're dealing with the lawsuit on the EcoDiesel, but they're still designing the next generation Ram.
Yeah.
There was a rumor, and on some enthusiast sites and forum sites, they're saying that the Hemi might be going away.
Really?
I don't know if I believe that rumor right now. And specs on the twin turbo V6 haven't come out.
yeah.
There's no announcement right now.
And there's a lot of tweaking they can do on the Hemi. I mean, they really haven't done much to it. Same hemispherical pistons they've had since
Has
way
good
back
power.
in the 50s. Yeah.
Really good power, also cylinder deactivation on their Hemis.
A lot of tweaking they can do, and so I don't know. I don't think the Hemi's going to go away. I mean, they built that brand around that Hemi, and I like it. I really like the sound of the 5.7. The 6.4 doesn't really have a good tone to it, but I like that engine too. But yeah, I don't think the Hemi's going away. I do. That would be cool if they did some crazy thing like turbocharge the Hemi, but who knows? I mean, Ford's been kind of left alone with the turbos, and I don't know why everybody else is doing that. I mean, you'd think that they would at least come out with one engine with a turbo on it for an option.
But the next year, if you're looking at the next 12 months, I think it's going to be very exciting because you have the next generation GM half tons.
Yeah.
There are prototypes out there running around. And we don't quite know what power options they will have. So GM is working on their power options next gen. Ram is working on their next gen. 2018 Fords have just bumped their
We know
power
what
numbers.
they are, yeah.
So the next year is going to be very, very exciting.
Oh yeah. It's a good time to be in this business.
Yes. So let's quickly give away this shirt, and then I wanted to look under the hood real quick because I want to show you how I'm going to beat you in a race.
It's pretty funny.
So the shirt I picked a name at random from our Patreon supporters, and Louis Schilling. I'll send you an email and get your size and an address if you want the shirt. We'll send you the shirt as a thank you for supporting us on patreon.com. And can we bring the camera over here under the hood?
I suppose. We'll have to
Okay.
see what else Roman's added to the big green.
Okay. So we were working last week to install throttle body fuel injection, and we were working with our master mechanic Ted, who is not a Chevrolet expert or a truck expert. He works on older British and French cars, but and I'm kind of a dummy. So if you can look under here, we installed a high pressure fuel pump down here, but we installed it horizontally, and it should have been vertical. So we're going to be fixing that real fast. But we went with a fuel injection, throttle body fuel injections, which you can kind of see underneath this air cleaner from Phytech and our friends at Summit Racing, to make the truck a little bit smoother and to also kick Kent's butt at speed.
Oh, you wish, you wish.
So what are we doing tomorrow, Kent?
Well, tomorrow we're going to do our first race. I'm just wondering if this is safe to run. I mean, you smell gas and stuff. I think you probably need to really go over this well and see what's.
Have you cut any lines on this engine?
No, not yet. But is this a heater hose? What is this kinked line there? I'm worried about some of this stuff. Is that a heater hose? Look how kinked it is. That
It's
could
a
blow
what-
up at any time.
So
Do you
here,
smell gas?
no. Here's what we're doing. We have the 1985 Chevy K10 Big Green, this truck. Tommy recently purchased his Rusty Boy, a 1974 Ford F-250 Highboy, and he's having a few engine problems himself with his camshaft. And you purchased a 1994 Ram 1500
Dodge Ram.
Zilla.
Dodge Ram 1500. Yeah.
Dodge Zilla.
Yeah.
Overkill.
Yeah, and we
So
have
what
been
have you
working
done
on
with
that.
your truck?
Oh gosh, it's an overbuilt transmission. It's got overkill. I mean, it's built up heavier than what a diesel was in '94. If you bought a Cummins new in that engine and that transmission, mine has got more stuff in it. It's got more planetaries. It's got more orifices. It's got more discs.
So you have an automatic transmission.
Yes, I'm on
and
that
this is a
transmission,
manual.
and ours has a high torque stall on it, so it'll shift at the peak power. And we just put in 4 new injectors. We put in a front new axle. We had a lot of different things. You know, it was a wore-out project truck, so we bought a rolling chassis that I can get more parts off of, and we're replacing a lot of parts.
Well, I'm a little worried about your transmission because this is a manual with really long throws, and I'm
Yeah.
afraid that whoever's driving this truck,
Yeah.
maybe Roman, you could run away with it.
Well, I think he ought to try to go through all 4 gears. Is what I think. I think he can do that. He should try each gear.
In granny, start in granny.
Well, yes, that would be a good place to start. He can get traction in, and then go through each gear. And by the time he gets to 60 feet or whatever it is, he'll be in high gear. He'll be in overdrive. So I think that's the way I would do it. But yeah, I just hope this thing is safe enough to race against us, and we'll find out. I certainly, maybe you should put it on a trailer and take it to the track.
No.
You don't want to risk
And
driving it that
obviously,
far.
our first test is going to be a performance test, kind of a drag race, bracket racing. But we're going to take these trucks off road, and that's kind of where these trucks belong, right?
Right.
On the off-road trails.
Yeah, we will be going to whatever your steepest trail is. That'll be
Cliffhanger 2.0.
We got to figure out how we're going to do that. Is it a time event or how we're going to do it? But
Whoever doesn't break down on it before we make it to the top, that's how we judge it.
oh, that's cool. So I just put a skid plate under my transfer case, so we're beefing that puppy up, and I got some truck nuts we're putting on the back, just like the book. So we'll be ready to rock
You're
and
going to
roll.
put a
it.
book on the truck.
Yes, I am. I'm going to put this
Okay.
on a windshield, maybe a flyer. We'll do something. But yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys joining as always. So we do these shows 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So stay tuned and come back and see us. Thanks.